Hey everyone, welcome back to the Centered Leader Podcast, where our goal is to help you live a life as a leader centered on Christ. Today I am joined with Shane. We've been apart for 2 weeks.
I know.
You had your grandbaby, and then I went to the beach, and then now we're here.
Yes. And just to be clear, I did not personally have the grandbaby, but I was definitely excited about the coming of our third grandson. So our third grandchild, our second grandson. So very exciting. Yes. A lot of stuff going on in the Seegers household.
Yeah, no, it was awesome. It was like two Sundays ago. You
Yeah.
came up to me, you came up to me in the lobby frantic, and I was like, oh no, what's happened?
Yeah.
He's like, I'm leaving. The baby's on the way.
Yeah, and his name is Jet, and that's appropriate because his mom, our daughter-in-law, was in labor for 10 minutes.
Oh, wow.
And so from the time they signed in to they checked, they said, he's coming, and he was here. So
That's awesome.
Yeah, real excited.
Congratulations. That's
Yeah,
exciting.
thank you.
Yeah. How are you today?
I'm doing well. Now, nobody's told me any different, so I think I'm going fine.
Before we started this, Marty asked, she's like, Shane, how are you doing? I was like, I think I'm okay. And I told him I'm going to start using that phrase now. I think I'm fine, right?
Yeah, well, again, because Janelle, my wife, is out of town, so nobody's told me any different.
That's
she's the one that helps me stay in line. So
Yes, absolutely. Well, today we're talking about communication.
Yes.
Right? And so how to miscommunicate, how to not, no, right?
Yeah.
No,
Well,
wait,
I
what?
mean, we don't need to talk about how to miscommunicate. That's pretty natural. I think, just communication, though, obviously is paramount. It's fundamental in relationships and
Yes.
how we're going to lead, how we're going to coordinate, work with people.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously, everybody needs to work on communicating more and to be better at it. So that's why we want to talk about it.
Yes, absolutely. And coming off of On-Ramp, by the way, thank you to the leaders that participated in On-Ramp, and then thank you to the leaders that were on standby that already have groups full and were watching it and championing it and cheerleading it on. Thank you guys for your encouragement there. We're excited. I'm excited about this semester coming up. It starts literally next week. So I know that your groups are excited to get back into the swing of things, but as we get back into the swing of things with our groups, make sure, and that's what we're talking about today, make sure that communication is clear. One of my favorite quotes is clarity is kindness. And man, that's been so true in my life. And even mine and Shane's working relationship. Shane, you're very clear about your communication, which I'm thankful for. And I genuinely mean that. Because there's been times in life, and you've felt the frustration too of being in different leadership positions and being different coworkers, and it's like, hey, just tell me what, like, you're very clear and direct.
Well, I think, one of the things that we all realize is nobody has the gift of mind reading.
Yes.
Sometimes we might think we know what someone's thinking, and that can get us in trouble as well when we assume a lot of things. But no one has that gift, and it is a kindness to be able to speak clearly about what you're thinking, about what your intentions are, about what you want. Some of those things are uncomfortable for us to do, but I find that I rather lean into the challenges of being clear than dealing with all the problems that come from things that aren't clear.
Yes.
And it's just which one do you want to choose?
Yeah.
Because it's going to happen.
Yes.
You either have to accept the difficulty of working to be clear, or working through the problems of not being clear.
Yeah. And so let's just talk about the tangible ways of communication, thinking through Connect groups. The ways that you communicate, you've got the app, right? They can use the app. You've got email.
Which
you've
I'm
got
thankful
text.
for the app. It's a good tool, and you can configure it whatever works best for you. You don't have to have every single chime going off all the time, but it is a great tool because everybody can access it.
Yeah. And you made a good point in training, which I want to reiterate too.
This
to
might
our
be
leaders.
a first. I made a good point about the app in training.
No, it was like one of those moments where I was like, yes, like we need to highlight this and continually highlight it is when you talked about like asking in a group chat or a group setting virtually, hey, who's coming tonight?
Yeah.
If somebody's not coming, for them, and voice that up front. And so let me break this down. So you have your group text.
Right.
You say, hey, who's coming tonight? if you're not coming, you put that at the bottom. If you're not coming, please message us separately.
Yeah.
And I don't know how you word that to make it not sound weird, but it's important.
And the reason why is because, when you see, group text or communication and one person says, oh, our kids are sick, so we're not going to be able to make it tonight. Or someone's my husband's out of town, so I don't know if I'm going to make it. And then next thing you know, someone else goes, oh yeah, we're also, and before you know it, 3 or 4 people or couples have said, we're not going to be able to make it. Because it just kind of builds. It gives permission for someone else to say, I'm not going to be there. Now, granted, there are real reasons for people to miss. I'm not saying that. But I also know, as much as I love Connect Group, sometimes I can go, oh, it's group night tonight. Am I ready for it? Oh, maybe it would. That is normal. We all face that. And you know what? Every time that those challenges come and I realize the importance of it and what's going on, at the end of the night, I'm always, God, I'm so thankful that I went through and met and everybody was there. And, so getting back to, again, I don't want to give permission for everyone just to start going, oh yeah, I can't make it. So when you have a group communication about something general, yes, to everybody. But if someone can't make it, I always ask for the people in our group to message me privately. That they're not going to be able to come, because I don't want their circumstance to affect someone else's situation.
No, and
does that make sense?
Oh, yes, absolutely. Because you
to be clear here.
Yes, yeah. Well, you can even see it play out where it's like, oh, Tom and Sally aren't coming, and that's usually who we sit by, and that's usually who prays. And if they're not there, then they're probably going to ask us to pray. So I don't want to go tonight. And those are just common thoughts and different fears that people have and stuff.
And as a leader, sometimes we have fear. One person says they're not going to come, and then all of a sudden, I don't know why, we can start to think, well, nobody else is going to want to come either. And then we start to kind of say, well, maybe we shouldn't meet tonight to kind of protect ourselves from maybe feeling like nobody wants to come. And that's not the case. No. People signed up because they want to be a part of it.
Yes.
And
we even had like a moment where there was one couple out of town, there was 2 couples sick, and we still had one couple, and they're like, hey, we're willing to come tonight. We're like, yeah, absolutely, come on. And it was good because we had discussion, and we were able to have a little bit more
private
time with them and stuff, and to build that relationship. So I think those moments may even lend themselves more beneficial at times in different circumstances.
I trust that God's going to work in every circumstance and every situation. And even if a few people can't make it, I don't feel like that's the grounds for me to go, we shouldn't meet tonight. Maybe that is God providing the opportunity for, like you said, to have that specific or more personal conversation with those who are there. And so just take advantage of that. I want to share a story real quick. I shared this with our staff meeting one time. This is about a missionary who was a missionary to Africa, and he did large crusades, and they built the largest tent ever. It's going to be able to seat 100,000 people under this tent. And this is a guy who did gospel, conferences and stuff. And they were going to different parts of the country. And they were in South Africa, right on the Cape of Horn. And they put the huge tent up. And before they had their first meeting in it, a storm came in off the coast and just shredded this huge tent, made it unusable. And the missionary was so frustrated. He's like, God, why did this happen? We've worked so hard. We are going to have the largest gathering we've ever had, 100,000 people to hear the message, and didn't even get to use it. His shred is completely lost. And he said that he sensed God impress on him, I've never told you just to reach 100,000 people. And they went ahead and went without the thing, and over 1 million people showed up for the conference. And, we don't know. Sometimes we think it's going to be smaller or bigger, whatever, but God is going to bring the people that he wants there, whether it's larger or smaller, to accomplish his work. And we trust him for that. And I want you to trust him in the same way. You might not think, well, your group has as much significance as what's going on with 1 million people coming. Well, guess what? Each one of those 1 million people is someone that God loves. Each person in your group is someone that God loves. And he's going to do whatever it takes to do the work that needs to be done in their life.
Yeah.
And man, what a privilege we get to be a part of that.
Oh yeah, no, and it's incredible to even think about, and that's what exactly what you said when it comes to numbers and the people that we minister to. That's what I want us as leaders to really think about. It's not about the numbers, and it's not about how big, once again, how big you can get your Connect group. We're not concerned about how big a Connect group is. We're concerned about authentic relationships. Right. We're concerned about you actually doing life together, actually growing in your faith together, right. praying together, reading the Word together. That's the desire.
A Connect group is really a spiritual family on mission. And, families come in all shapes and sizes. I mean, you have 2 children. I had 4 children. Doesn't make my family more successful or whatever because I have more. What makes it successful is you and Sarah or Janelle and myself investing in developing our children and helping them to grow.
Yeah. No, absolutely. And so thinking through these communication avenues as you get ready to launch your group back, obviously you've got the app, you've got text, you've got email, and even the power of a phone call. And I want to talk about that for a second, communication. One of our leaders, not going to name them, but they had one of their, it's actually happened multiple times since I've been here, but let's just say a loved one has passed in their family. You could send an email back to that, I've had, hey, sorry, I won't be able to make this training or something, or hey, sorry, and sometimes I'll find out, weeks later and stuff. But in that moment, as soon as I find out about a loved one passing or something of that nature, I pick up the phone and I call. Okay. And for me, I'm 30, in that generation, they're scared of phone calls, right? Yeah. And I don't know what age you're at. Maybe you prefer phone calls. Maybe you're like, hey, looking at my call thread, all it is telemarketers. I haven't made a call since 2021. There's a power in phone call and hearing somebody's voice. And I'll just say that because when you hear about a loved one passing, pick up the phone, have a 5-minute conversation.
Yeah. And I think, that's obviously initial responses too. But I think, when it comes to communicating, the more serious an issue is, the more direct the communication needs to be. And so sometimes initially that's the first thing you can do is call. But if it's something significant, nothing beats your presence. Just being able to even give a hug. That's a lot of communication there, even without words. I'm with you. I love you. I got you. And sometimes, again, something, then pick up a phone call. Or pick up the phone and call, because hearing someone's voice is really effective. Mm-hmm. But again, in person, if it's something real important, they can do more than hear your voice. They can also see your mannerisms. Yes. There's a lot more communication that goes along that makes it clear when you're in person. So that's a rule of thumb I try and use too. With all the means that we have, the more serious or important an issue is, the more I want to do it physically than by phone, than by text or email or some other means.
Yeah. And we even have, great technology, Skype, Zoom. Yeah. Skype is kind of a thing of the past, right? Well, Zoom and FaceTime, right?
Oh, yeah. And, I'm grandparenting by FaceTime. My grandchildren are 10 hours away. So I love every day that, I can see my grandchildren, coming on the screen and putting their faces all over and watch this, watch me, and all that kind of stuff. Oh, yeah. So there's lots of great tools.
Yeah. So even if your work schedule or maybe their work schedule, you can't line up, but it's like, hey, you got 15 minutes at lunch. Let's just FaceTime and talk, I realize you're having a hard time. Can we just FaceTime and can I just pray with you, type deal. There's multiple ways you can minister to people and communicate, and that's what I love about all the technology that we have.
Yeah, and most of our communication with people is not on the big rock issues that require all that. Most of it is kind of small talk, to tell you the truth. And so there are a lot of great tools to be able to do it. I just think the best thing is that you communicate.
Yes.
Because whether you think so or not, in your silence, you're communicating as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, priorities.
Yeah.
And so prioritize your group. Once again, lead from a healthy place. Don't feel like you I'm very specific with my communication to you guys at trainings. I promise, 1 at 2 at max 2 emails and 2 of the messages through the app will go out per week, but usually I try to keep that to one because I value your guys' time and attention. And right. So, and I model that to you guys so that you guys can model that to your groups too as well. But some of you guys have different, me and Shane obviously communicate more than once a week. Right. And majority of you, maybe in your groups, you'll communicate more than once a week, and that's good and that's healthy, but just respect those boundaries. What's something that you should not text to somebody? I mean, that's kind of a broad question.
Well, there's certain pictures you should never text.
Yes.
There's also.
But even let me rephrase that.
Yeah, be clear. On that question.
Yeah. Clarity's kindness, right? That's pretty broad. But no, because there's been times where people are probably like, why am I in that? Like, be sensitive in your conversations within your group chats too, because there's conversations that 2 people are having and 12 people are in the conversation. Yeah. And we've all been there and been a part of that, and you feel almost stuck, especially if you're in a Connect group chat and it's like, okay, I can mute this, but I still have to go back and see if I'm missing anything important because this is an open group chat. Yeah. So I think you need to be sensitive there too, but it's hard.
Yeah, I guess not everything requires a response from everyone.
Yes.
So if, again, you want good communication, so if someone asks something, you would like, as a leader, to respond to that. But if it's been asked in a public situation, it doesn't necessarily require everyone to chime in. And there are ways that you can do it simply. You could go offline with the person and do it personally. But I kind of just go by the rules too, that if it's not true, kind, or helpful, those are 3 things that I think a lot about my communication with people. Is it true? Because it's no good to answer things that aren't true or don't involve me or whatever. Yes. But I mean, is it true? Is it kind? That doesn't mean I don't say hard things. Because there's a lot of people that misinterpret. You said something that hurt my feelings. Well, I wasn't trying to hurt your feelings. There are differences between saying things that hurt and being and being mean.
Yeah.
But I tried, every time I communicate something, I want to do it in the kindest way possible.
Yes.
And is it helpful? There's a lot of times that certain comments don't move the thread forward. You know, and having 4 boys, there's a lot of times that it was like, do you feel better about it? Did that really help the situation here? Adding that.
Yeah.
So I can't think of specific examples right off the top of my head, but if you're a part of a chain and someone, is communicating something to the leader, you don't have to reply to it if it doesn't, if it's not to you.
Yes.
Or if you do feel like, hey, I want to communicate something, that it probably might be best to just communicate with that individual by yourself.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Yeah, and I think you guys will have that discernment, but just be sensitive to that in those group chats because you've been held hostage by those conversations just like everyone else. So just be sensitive. Because
you want the group chats to be helpful, and we're all busy, and sometimes something can be happening, and you can be at work, and all of a sudden your phone is just burn, and you're like, what is going on? And it might be something important.
Yeah.
And like in our Connect group, a lot of times some of the wives who are responsible for planning, whether we're eating or whatever, they're coordinating something.
Yes.
And that's not really something that I'm dealing with, and it's like, why am I, so we don't want to make it to where everybody goes and shuts off that whole tool.
Yeah.
Because does that make?
Oh yeah, no, absolutely, yeah. So, and then even with text, then this is something personally that I've been working on for probably a year now. I started in the beginning of 2025, responding to text, and if I don't because I'm like the worst responder to text. Like I'll get text messages and not respond to them for like 2 weeks, and then be going through and like, oh, in my mind, I respond to this person, right? Have you ever had that happen?
Oh, I've actually typed it all out and never hit send. So
yeah,
I've come back and
ever.
all of a sudden I see it's still sitting on the thing. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So what I've done to try to combat that, and maybe it's more complicated than what it needs to be, but it just works for my OCD weird brain right now, is I will keep all the text threads, and then once I respond to a text message, I'll delete it out of my text. And then people are like, well, then you can't go back to that conversation. Well, I have 30 days to go back to my recently deleted to recover it if I need that conversation again. But that way I know that I've responded, so I clear out. I keep like my family chats and Sarah's chats saved, pinned at the top, but everything else I clear out once I respond. I know that's a lot, but it works for me.
Hey, and I'm glad. I'm glad it works for you. That's Kurt kind of gets dizzy and disoriented when he goes into my office because my mind doesn't work the same way his does on that. Because I just have my wife will look and go, "Why do you have all those red dots on your phone?" And that drives her crazy. But you do want to respond in a timely way, because whether it's email or text, the more that you get, the more that it pushes it down, and then all of a sudden you forget to go back and look at those things. So I find that the sooner that you can respond, the better.
Yes. And on the flip side, don't be a slave to communication either. Don't feel like you need to always be attached to it, always be, oh my gosh, I've got to respond to this person. I usually go by the 24-hour rule. If it's anybody, within my circle and anybody that I need to communicate with promptly, hey, 24 hours, within 24 hours, I need to have a response. If I wait longer than that, then there's probably an issue that for some reason I can't. You know.
And sometimes it depends on what the nature of the communication is.
Yes.
I mean, sometimes if it's just hey, are we meeting tonight? I mean, that doesn't take long, and a prompt response is real important. Sometimes they might be asking you a more in-depth, difficult conversation, and you need to think about it a little bit more, or you want to make sure your words are really correct. Or, sometimes you get negative communication and you just want to fire back what you're thinking. And I always learned, that's not always the best thing to do. And so,
there's many texts I haven't responded to. I'll talk to them in person. And that's another caution point about communication. Never text out of frustration, because those words are now in somebody's inbox, and now they can copy and paste that to whoever they want and share that. Hey, did you see what so-and-so said to me?
And you might not have the same emotion level that they receive it in. And all of a sudden, because again, text and email don't always provide the emotion that you're sending in. And so that's really important to remember. I mean, one of the worst someone had once told me, hey, if someone writes something to you, write out your response, just write out and then hit delete.
There's been
multiple
times I've done that.
There's wiser ways to do it than what I did one time. I just was replying. I just did it right on the email or whatever, and I thought I was about to hit delete, and it actually sent it one time. So don't learn from my mistake.
Yes.
I mean, it's good to kind of be able to say what you feel and then realize, oh, I shouldn't feel that way, and get rid of it. But do it in the safest way possible.
Yes. Yeah.
That was a difficult
I love the feature on iPhones now where you can unsend messages.
Yeah.
Because there's been so many, and you've probably done it too, where you thought you were replying to somebody else, like you had a text message open and it replies to somebody else.
Yeah.
And now the unsend feature, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
It is amazing.
Yeah. So
but yeah, communication is so important, and it's so necessary. And I want to read this passage. Proverbs 16:24 states this: gracious words are a honeycomb, sweet to the soul and healing to the bones. Obviously, and there's so many scriptures about words, about the tongue, about the power of even communication. And so just be sensitive to that. Use it wisely, right? It's with anything.
Well, again, because tools you're communicating, these tools you're communicating, you're using words. And what Jesus says is, that's really the overflow of the heart.
Yes. Yeah.
So when we're communicating with people, we're either doing it in love or not.
Yeah.
And it's really revealing what what it's coming from. So
as a man thinks in his heart, so is he.
Yeah. So I just want to really encourage you. You're a leader, and it's not just a position. Connect group leader. That might be the position you have, but leadership is influence.
Yes.
And our words matter, and they really reflect our heart and our thoughts, and that's why to be as clear as possible with people is a great gift.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Shane, thank you for your time today, and thank you for your communication today. and
clear as mud, as always.
Right.
No, just kidding.
But no, once again, clarity is kindness. Always lead with that. Be as clear as possible. And there's times that you'll fail at that, and that's okay. And don't be stressed that there's times I constantly fail at that. With Shane, with you guys, with my family. But the goal is that we would continually see that and get better each and every day.
And so with this, one of the things we're doing with the podcast is communication. We're trying to be able to speak as clearly with as many people as possible. But some of you are listeners or viewers or whatever are watching this, and you might have questions. You might have concerns. Well, I just want to encourage you. Reach out, take the initiative to ask, to communicate with us, because that's what we want to do. We want to help you.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you for watching this. And like I said, as you get ready to launch those groups back, make sure that you're communicating in whatever way that is effective to your group. But just communication is key there. So thank you for watching. Make sure to share this. Make sure to like, subscribe, do all those tech YouTube podcast things, right, Shane?
Yeah.
And we'll see you on the next one.